contest to see who can shortest amount of time. The record is 5 minutes and 18 seconds. And oh boy, am I never going to do that again. That was a joke.
Estamos en Texas, en el Riverwalk.
From Roosevelt High School in 1981. We are now in the man-made section of the Riverwalk, made in 1968 to connect the natural portion of the San Antonio River to the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, which is on the right-hand side. It's very rare for anyone to have the privilege to be able to come to this area of the Riverwalk by boat. Normally this is closed off for various reasons. Today it just happens to be one of the very rare occasions where we're allowed to come to this area of the Riverwalk by boat. It's probably only open maybe about 60 days out of every year. The Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center is straight ahead. Typically this is an area of very high winds. You can actually feel the wind. When we get to the other side of the bridge here, it hits us pretty hard. So because the wind is actually hitting us really hard, that's why this is normally closed off to the boats. In fact, this is why we have to spin the boat around. So normally we would be able to go all the way to the end and go around that island there. But because the wind was so high, very recently we've had some debris that have been fall down over there in that area. And so that's why we're unable to go all the way to the end there. That's why I got to spin the boat around right here. Now it's times like this when I'm spinning a 4,000-pound boat around 180 degrees, when I wish I would have listened to what my dad used to always tell me when I was a little boy. I don't know what it was because I was never listening. Now typically we're never in this. Like I said, this is only open maybe probably less than 60 days out of the year. I want to tell you about something that's behind us. We can't see it. Sorry about that, but it's called the Lila Conco Theater. It was made in well, actually you can see it. You can see it lit up right there. That's the Lila Conco Theater. Now that was made in 1975, and it's named after the first female mayor of San Antonio. And on top of the Lila Conco Theater, there's actually a tile mural. Called the mural, and it was made by a Mexican artist named Juan Goldman. This is one of our mandatory stops here, so I gotta stop the boat here. We have mandatory stops for different reasons. Could be because we're at a blind intersection. It could be because the high winds make it necessary for us to stop the boat just to be extra cautious, like right here. It could be just to reposition the boat. Now I'd like to introduce you guys to a very beautiful young lady. This young lady, she just celebrated her second birthday in March. Now she's 16 and a half feet tall, and she's on the right-hand side. That's Stargazer statue right there. She's made out of 18 pieces of volcanic lava and 1 piece of marble. Now when we get around the bridge here, you guys look to the right, you'll see that the marble piece is the star that she's gazing through. She is a very beautiful young lady, isn't she? Now sometimes people ask me, well, why is she gazing through the stars? What's she trying to find out? I don't know. I think she's trying to figure out if the Cowboys are ever trying to win another Super Bowl, but I don't know. Now, right ahead of us, you guys see all these people right here. These are your fans. They knew that you were going to come by, so they all showed up so that they could see it. So when we drive by your fans, you guys make sure to wave on the right hand side. This is actually the River Center docking station. Now, this is the second of the 3 boat docking stations we have for everyone on the Riverwalk. Now we call this the River Center docking station because it's in front of the River Center shopping mall. And the River Center shopping mall was made in 1988. It's in front of us. It's the second largest shopping mall in San Antonio. So Captain Michael, he's shopping mall in front of us was made in 1988. Thank you. It features over 100 retail shops. There's a giant walk-in aquarium called Sea Life. There's a giant amusement park called the Legoland Amusement Park. But before you grown-ups get too excited about going to Legoland, I should probably let y'all know. In order for anyone to participate in the festivities at the Legoland Amusement Park, all adults must be accompanied by a child. Yeah, that's a real rule. All right, you guys, this is a tight squeeze here. Thank you for keeping all your body parts inside the wooden rails. Now this is the River Center Lagoon. And this is notoriously famous as a place of unpredictable high winds and unpredictable waves. You guys see these beautiful flowers in front of us inside these 500-pound concrete flower pots? Notice that some of those 500-pound concrete flower pots are kind of tilted over a little bit. That's because we hit them with our boats, folks. Like I said, this is notoriously famous as a place of unpredictable high winds and waves. Doesn't look like any of you are paying any attention to anything I'm saying. Sometimes people ask me if there are fish in the river. The answer is yes. We've got over 70 varieties of wildlife inside this river. We even have the venomous water monsters. Sit down on the boat. Sit down on the boat.
Sube ahí,
You're standing up on the boat, especially during these danger areas like the lagoon where it's unpredictable high winds and waves. You can all please
Driver center.
That would be very, very helpful.
There's a what?
The Payaya Indians have they occupied this area in San Antonio for thousands of years. And they had a word in their language. It was called God. It's kind of one of the words that doesn't translate very well into English. It sort of means area of peaceful and restful waters. Not peaceful or restful, the same way that we use those words in English. It kind of means an otherworldly type of peace or rest. So I think the Payaya Indians are trying to tell us that this is an area where you can find peace and rest like no other place in the world. As we pass underneath this boat, you guys look to this cut here, you guys look to the right-hand side because you're about to see a beautiful 8.5-foot statue of the Catholic saint that this river was named after. Now this statue on the right-hand side, on the other side of this bridge is of San Antonio de Padua. In English, we call him Saint Anthony. He's on my right-hand side. Saint Anthony was born in the 12th century in Lisbon, Portugal, and that statue is a gift to the city from the country of Portugal for the hemisphere in 1968. Here in San Antonio, there's a whole lot of people who take San Antonio de Padua very seriously because he is the Catholic patron saint of lost things. So a lot of people sincerely believe if you ever lose anything dear to your heart, all you have to do is pray to St. Anthony and he'll help you find it. I guess that's good for all of us here in Texas because every year we get about 4 million tourists visiting the Riverwalk. And those tourists keep losing things inside our beautiful river. The most common item tourists lose in our river is cell phones. Everyone look up and to the right. And above the tree line there you'll see a beautiful church steeple. That church steeple belongs to St. Joseph's Catholic Church. Made in 1868 during the Cowboy days by German immigrants. That church is still active to this day. If you guys go to church there this Sunday, you might even hear the all-mill choir sing in German to commemorate their heritage. In 1921, there was a major flood in the area, and the Army Corps of Engineers wanted to seal off the Riverwalk and be done with it. The San Antonio Conservation Society stepped in to save the Riverwalk, and in 1929, Robert H. Hoffman, a graduate of the University of Texas, submitted a flood control plan that was approved by the city. But 1929, that was the year the stock market crashed. So the city didn't have any funding available. So it wasn't until 12 years later in 1941 when a federal program called Works Project Administration took the middle of all time $430,000, which in today's money would be like $4.3 billion. That's a lot of money. We do have the ability to drain the river off, and we'll do that every year to clean it out. You guys remember when I told you that tourists keep losing cell phones off the river? Well, the last time we drained the river walk to clean it out, we found 355 cell phones. But that's not all. We also found 75 electric scooters. $26,000 worth of jewelry, house keys and car keys and prosthetic limbs. Yeah, we found all kinds of crazy stuff in the water. Keep track of your stuff, folks. They don't want you to lose anything. We got enough other people's stuff in the river already. I can't remember if I said this or not, so if I did say this already, you guys please forgive me. It's been a long day. I've done a lot of tours. We would like to recognize all first responders, active duty military, and all veterans. Did I say this already? Alright, now if you're a first responder, active duty military, or a veteran, would you please raise your hand high in the air for us? Now is that because veterans are too modest? Alright, well I'll let you guys know I'm a veteran. I served in the United States Marine Corps during Operation Desert Storm. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. If you look to the right-hand side, you'll notice tourists in their natural habitat. And you'll also notice the story about docking stations. This is the third of the 3 built docking stations that we have for everyone on the Riverwalk. Everyone look straight ahead. You see this beautiful village in front of us on the left? That's La Villita. La Villita is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Texas, made in 1722. For the families of soldiers stationed at Mission San Antonio de Valero, which today we call the Alamo. La Villita means grilled cheese sandwich. I'm just kidding. La Villita does not mean grilled cheese sandwich. It's a little delicious. Today, La Villita features several fine restaurants, live music, and on top of that hill to the left, you'll even find your local artist market, where you can buy one-of-a-kind gifts and jewelry. This is the Arneson River Theater, made in 1941, named after Edward Arneson, the chief engineer for the War Protection Administration. That stage on the right-hand side was featured in the movie Miss Congeniality, starring Sandra Bullock. That's where the bikini contest was filmed. Anybody see that movie? Nobody saw that movie? Well, when they did the scene, the bikini contest scene, they asked one of the bikini contestants to describe her ideal date. And then she thought about it and she said, well, I'd have to say that my art museum, made in 2013, and named after the late Texas governor and his wife Jenny. From 1930 to 1968, that was the San Antonio Public Library. And from 68 to 2001, that was the Circus Museum. This beautiful iron bridge in front of us is one of only 10 iron bridges made like this in the whole wide world. All 10 of these iron bridges are made way off in Berlin. Berlin, Connecticut, that is. This is the lowest bridge we're going to go underneath, so I'll try to position the boat so we go through the middle of these steel rafters here. But I promise you're not going to hit your head unless you stand up, of course. Or unless you remain seated and you happen to be 7 feet 2 inches tall.